All right, guys, welcome to the Saturday Santos show, where we have great convo with great people. And today's a special one. We have Lee from Lee Love Modeling, right?
Lovely modeling.
Lovely modeling. That makes a lot more sense.
Try to do like a play on words, you know?
Yeah, I get that now. Well, thank you so much for coming by.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm so
of course.
excited.
Me too. I followed you for I think a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, I love the content. And then I was like, oh shit, you're here in Atlanta.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's do a show. Yeah. I want to hear your story. So what got you into modeling?
Yeah, so about 4-ish years ago, I've been doing like cosplay since I was like 14.
Okay.
So about 4-ish years ago, I was doing some cosplay stuff, and I had Darkwood Photography reach out to me, who's now like my super longtime friend and my like favorite photographer to shoot with. Reach out and be like, hey, are you interested in doing like this alternative modeling style? And I was like, well, that's a great question. I've never considered it. So I kind of went and talked to some close friends and family and like just went through that kind of thing and trying to figure out if that was the right avenue for me and if I was interested in it.
Gotcha.
Because I've always loved cosplaying and there's not really that much difference. I love dressing up and, you know, posing for photos and stuff. It's just fun.
Sure. So did you make your own cosplays?
Yes and no. So like parts of them, yes, but never like the full thing. Like stuff that involves sewing, no, not me, not my thing. I'm terrible at sewing.
Okay.
Like I've sewed things that are like straight lines, but if you're like talking detail work, no. Most of my stuff is like props or like small accessories, ears and stuff like that. And I'm super into the makeup and stuff too. So I eventually agreed to do it and then had my first shoot, and it's kind of been just got super into it really quickly. I've always really enjoyed like creating content and producing and performing and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of been my thing, and that's how I got into it.
Oh, I love it. I love that. So you started with cosplay when you were younger, and then that you kind of graduated into doing modeling and cosplay.
Yeah.
And so what was the name of the photography studio?
Darkwood Photography.
Darkwood Photography. That's right. On your post, I see you shouting out to them.
Yeah. I credit all the photographers that I work with, and then where Darkwood, I have like sets for sale. So then I'll be like, hey, if you want to see this full set or whatever, there's where you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now you're doing some Twitch streaming.
Yes, I just started Twitch streaming like 3 weeks ago, and that's super fun because I've been in super like video games and anime and all that nerd stuff.
Oh, really?
So that was super cool, and it's been like a dream of mine for like a year now. It just never quite got off the ground, and now I've started, and it's super fun, and
that's so
it's awesome. It's very cool.
Yeah, your audience voted for Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I thought it was so funny.
I was like, Death's Door, dude, Death's Door. Is that the one that?
Yeah, Death's Door, yeah.
Because
I thought it was very interesting that they voted for Animal Crossing versus Death's Door, just because like Animal Crossing is, I feel like, less action packed, I guess. So like I'm like just sitting around weeding the island, like, all right, guys, I'm collecting this stuff, and just that's what we're doing today. Like,
super passive.
Yeah, exactly.
I never got it until this new one came out, and then I got it when it was released, right when COVID hit.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Right.
Here comes this game that encourages you just to stay home.
Right, exactly. It's like Hobby Simulator.
I know. And I never understood it until I started playing. I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. There's like this loop where you kind of, you start building stuff, you start collecting stuff, you talk to a few people. I haven't played it in a minute, but that's awesome. You've been streaming that.
Yeah.
So you do it every Monday?
No, I haven't, like, I don't have a set schedule because my work schedule's really crazy. I go to school also part-time, so I'm
shit.
I'm like doing everything. I have a full schedule like constantly.
I can only imagine.
So I just do it. I try to stream once a week, and it's never consistent at this current point in time.
I dig it. Yeah. So if you don't mind me asking, what are you going to school for?
I'm going to school to be an American Sign Language interpreter.
No way!
So like super different from what I'm doing now.
But I love that. Katie and I always talk about we want to learn sign language, especially for just adding it into filmmaking and writing.
Right, exactly.
Like it's quiet. and it's very unique and looks very cool on film, and it's not really that common when you would think that more people would learn.
Right. So before I started doing all this modeling and stuff, I was a nanny professionally, and so a lot of the parents and stuff I was working with would be teaching their sign language to babies, so baby signs and stuff like that.
No way.
And so I got to kind of be a part of that and see that, and then I just have a want and a need to be accessible to everybody. And so if I can't talk to somebody who's deaf or hard of hearing, because maybe they're not very good at reading lips, or I'm talking too fast or whatever, I would rather just speak to them as they know how to.
Sure.
And I also just think it's really good for learning and stuff, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm surprised it's not more universally taught.
Right.
It's insane. Yeah. I've met a couple of interpreters, and I talked with them a couple of times, and they love the work. And I don't know how it works with different people, but it seems like one person kind of sticks with a couple of clients. Is that kind of how it works? Or?
I'm not really sure. I'm very in like the super beginnings of school. I only just started, so.
Oh shit! Okay.
But I would imagine it's probably like when you like, it's not like other jobs where you're just like sitting at a desk and you're not really talking to people. Like when you're interpreting for somebody, you kind of get to know that person and build like a bond. And so I would imagine that you'd probably, if you like that person, that you would want to stick with them. Yeah, absolutely. I also love that the field is super diverse, because like I'll get bored of something really quick after doing it for so long. So having the ability, I could be an interpreter for like school. I could do like concert interpreting. You could do like public broadcasting, like for
like live events.
Yeah, press briefings for officers and stuff like that. You could work in hospitals. There's like endless, because people need interpreters. It's just something that's like going to be necessary.
Sure.
So that's just super cool that I could just do like a multitude of different things.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's interesting too, because I remember when this whole COVID thing started to hit, there was a lot of briefings and everything. And the governor Kemp, like he would get bashed all the time on social, but people would love his sign language interpreter.
Oh yeah,
because he was like this stout, bald, big beard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they called him out. I was like, oh man. And then you see all these videos on TikTok where like for like concerts, like you were saying,
right,
where
that's
they're getting
crazy.
Into
it's crazy. The other thing is like, when you're interpreting, there's like SimCom, and then you have like regular American Sign Language. So sign language is like a different grammar structure than what we would normally speak in. So the people who are interpreting for concerts and stuff are like translating the grammar structure from English to ASL and then like signing along with the songs really quickly. It's crazy. It's like when you know that and then you watch people do it, you're like, wow, that's like a lot of work you're doing. That's like a lot of brain power.
So they're not only interpreting it from what is being said audibly to American Sign Language, they're then taking that and making it isn't like an international sign language?
No. So every the countries that do have sign language, it's all different. You might find like similarities, but they're all different. There's not like a universal sign language, unfortunately.
Oh, I gotcha. Baby steps.
Right, exactly.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Are you gonna start incorporating some of that into your work?
Modeling? Absolutely. Yeah. I would love to like just start signing in different stuff as soon as I, feel comfortable doing so.
Sure.
Just that whole thing of like being accessible and accessibility to as many people as I can.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. That and doing some Twitch streaming too.
Yeah. Oh, that would be
so cool.
So interesting. There was a game, it came out a while ago. I can't remember. Something about, it was like an adventure-based game and you're like playing a mouse and is the mouse deaf? I'm not sure, but they sign in the game.
Really?
It's like, yeah, so that was super cool. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, let's interpret, like, start including that more in things.
Yeah. That may be the case because I know accessibility in gaming is a huge topic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Anytime that someone or a developer doesn't include something, it's always a big to-do.
Right.
Like whether it be, subtitles or I've noticed a big thing now is color blindness.
Right.
That's
colorblind
huge.
Modes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm afraid to test them out because I'd realize I'm colorblind.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. Some people don't even know.
Right. A lot of people, depending on like your varyingness of colorblind, that there's like different palettes that you see, different colors that you see versus like just seeing grayscale or whatever. Yeah. You might find out some knowledge you didn't know was an issue.
I know. I felt so bad. I was at this camp like in later stages of high school. Mm-hmm. It was at Berkeley University in Tennessee. It was for music, and I would go every summer. And so it would be like a college experience. So you'd room with a couple of people, and it would be related to whatever you were doing. So I was there for guitar, and a couple of the guys there was for jazz band. Mm-hmm. And one guy was colorblind, and he had I don't know how, he had his towels in his room color coded. And something happened where he got like drenched or something. And he's like, Homero, can you hand me the red towel or that towel? Mm-hmm. Or no, forgive me. I was asking for the towel. I was like, the red one, bro, the red one. He's like, I don't know which one it is.
Right.
I was like, what are you talking about? The red one. I'm like, oh, this guy. Felt so bad.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's definitely something to get accustomed.
Right. Just like as far as like any person with disability that you like are friends with or are interacting with, you have to like approach a situation differently than you're used to. To kind of get from wherever point you're trying to get to.
No, absolutely. It was eye-opening because to that point, being able to understand and then kind of rejigger your lifestyle to accommodate, it's something important for sure. Right.
It's like when you're telling a blind person, if a blind person asks you, how do I get to somewhere? You're like, oh, it's over there.
Right.
Where's over there? I'm going to need you to be like, take 2 steps to the left and then walk straight until your cane hits like this wall and then turn right. Like you really have to think about it. You can't just say, oh, it's like you pointing, and then they can't see that you're pointing.
Right. It's becoming more diverse, man. And technology's helping. Like apparently, I didn't know. I love the iWatch for just health and fitness.
Absolutely.
But so many people use it for what you're saying. Like blind people use it for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like GPS. There's an app there where it somehow reads the distance between you and the ground, and it'll tell you when stuff like the elevation is starting to change.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's insane. I was doing a film, a boom operating for a film a couple of months ago, and the AD did like a commercial for Apple 3 years ago, and ever since then he's been pro Apple. Just because of all the commercials he did. He's like, did you know this?
Right. He knows like all the information.
I'm like, bro, I already have Apple products. Come on. He's like, nah, bro, but did you know this? Like, oh. And anytime someone would need like a couple of scenes, there was supposed to be a phone, or he would do like a silent phone check. He's like, all right, guys, so the Apple products, it's just a simple button. Android, I'm sorry, but you're using inferior technology. Like, son of a bitch.
There's a very hard line between like Android people and Apple people. It's very interesting.
I'm starting to get that. We used Androids like maybe a couple of times. I think for 1 year I just ditched Apple, went Android, and I had to go back just because of the usability. Like for me, it's just all about usability.
Sure.
If it's easy, I'm easy, right?
Right.
But if it makes it more difficult, I'm like, oh my goodness.
I definitely feel I've pretty much had Apple my entire life. Like I think I've had a couple flip phones or something before.
There you go. Yeah.
But then I went to Apple and I've never went back. I've like used other people's phones and stuff for things, and the user interface just isn't as clean and like sleek, and I don't like. And maybe part of that is like the marketing. Like, so many people now use Apple that anybody could pick up an Apple phone and know how to use it.
Right.
Where I feel like as anybody, only Android people can pick up an Android phone and know how to use it.
I think that, yeah. And the people that want Android, at least the people I know, they kind of want to break it.
Yeah.
They want
to use it like to its maximum.
Yeah. And then even past that, like they want to put their own RAM, put their own graphics stuff in there. I'm like, bro, I just wanted to text and call people.
I need it to work.
Yeah. And to that point, do you use your phone a lot when it comes to your modeling?
Oh, I use my phone for like everything. I like pretty much all of my coordination for shoots and stuff, and it's all through my phone. I manage all of my like different websites and media from my phone. It's just way more convenient to be versus like some things are just harder to do on the computer. I have a desktop, but And there's some things that I use for that, like when I'm queuing up and planning different photos to post and stuff. It's better to do that on the computer,
like the scheduling.
Yeah, and the file management when I'm like downloading all of my content and stuff, and like, you know, this goes in this file and this goes. I have like a very rigorous organizational system in my files. Like, it's like,
hey, that's the
pictures,
best way to be.
Modeling, and then it has all the names of the sets and the dates that they were taken.
Hell yeah.
And it's like, and then inside those folders, it's like what I've posted and where I've posted it to, and what I haven't posted, so that I'm never confused. But other than that, like, I pretty much do a lot of my stuff from my phone, and then you know, that's like kind of the world that we live in, is just a lot of the work is done through your phone. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to the time where I can just do everything, editing.
Oh yeah.
All that just all right to the phone, and even or on the iPad. Even with this, like I told you, we do the live editing. Everything's done all at once, all live. And then I wish I could just take it and then go to YouTube, but the files are too big. So I have to like do a re-export. Right. If Apple could figure out where I could just do it all on the iPad, get the audio, the video all together synced up properly, and do a little mix, color.
Right.
Oh my God, how much easier would that be?
Oh my gosh.
I love it. So to that point, predominantly it seems like you're focused on photography for modeling. Are you going to be graduating? I know with Twitch it's video, but do more video centric stuff too? Yeah,
I want to like I was talking to you before we started, I started a podcast for D&D, and I really want to get back to that. I uploaded like a pilot video, or I didn't upload it, but I filmed it with a bunch of my friends and stuff. But I don't know that I was really happy with what I made and like how it went. So I didn't like end up finishing it and uploading it and like continuing with it. But that's something I'd like to get back to, is like podcasts, D&D related or otherwise.
Sure.
And then also when I get the equipment, I'd love to do like aerial silks and pole videos and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
because that stuff just seems really cool. I got to do like a little workshop in high school, and I was like hooked ever since. It's like one day I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
But primarily right now it's mostly like photos.
I gotcha. We have a couple actress friends that do that specifically, like Riley. She does pole videos, modeling and pole videos, and I can't remember her friend's name, but the aerial silks, that's another thing too that's getting way popular.
Oh yeah, it's like it's blowing up as also like as a fitness related thing. Like it's just becoming less stigmatized and all that kind, and more accessible. Like there used to be, you would have to have like in a gym like a super specific kind of rig, and now they've made all this different like mounts that you can do it in your own home if you have like a high enough ceiling. So
no way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I remember one of the first video projects I did, or me and Katie did, was called Sky Gym.
Oh yeah.
In Sandy Springs.
Yeah, I went there.
No shit.
Yeah, I've been there like one time.
Lovely people.
Yeah.
But you are not kidding, man. They had rigs.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
It was almost like gaffing rigs.
Oh yeah.
40 feet high, and it seemed pretty dangerous. Or it could be.
It could be dangerous, which is why like when you go in and take classes, like you gotta make sure you're doing all this stuff right and all your ties right, so that you're not like you know, if you're rolling out of a silk, then you just drop on the floor.
Sure.
You know, which is why we always encourage like have safety mats underneath.
Absolutely.
You, like gymnastics mats and stuff.
Oh, super important.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Funny story, but also scary. Safety super important. We were out doing a shoot for a stunt woman, and they were doing some kind of coordinating, and she just wanted to have something for her reel. And they were doing it outside her apartment. Her and I think the coordinator with her, and they didn't have any mats. They were like, "Oh, it's safe. It's not a big deal." Dude, they did whatever the move was, and we were filming, and I don't know what happened. It was some accident. She fell.
Oh gosh.
And hit her head, knocked the fuck out cold. And me and Katie were like, we probably need to call the ambulance. And he's like, nah.
Like that's like the crazy thing is, even if you're like a professional and you've been doing it for years, if there's like one mishap, that might be your career.
Yeah. The same thing happened in high school. Like the cheerleaders, they were doing some kind of crazy intense exercise or stunt, and they had like an old teacher. The teacher used to be a cheerleader, and she's like, oh, it'd be cute if I was a part of this routine.
Oh my gosh.
And they threw her up in the air, and they all missed her.
That's crazy.
And she was like this close to hitting her head on the ground. They caught her in time, but everyone was like gasping.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
That's
not worth it, bro.
Yeah, there's just some things in life that you just gotta like, I think I'll pass on that. Yeah. Is that really worth it?
Yeah. That's happened to me a couple of times. I think back on a couple of crazy stunts I did, and I'm like, what was I thinking? Yeah. Like, you ever play Ship's Mast? Okay. So you're basically on the hood of a car.
Oh my God.
Right?
I feel like I know where this is going.
You take your belt, you take your friend's belt, your friend's driving, and you hook the belt around the car doors as they're open, and you close them. And so you're on the hood of the car, and you're just on the hood of the car holding the belts, and your friend drives, and the point of the game is to trade off and to see who can go the farthest as the car goes fastest.
Oh my God.
I made it to 50 miles, and I was like, fuck this, dude. I am out. I am done. And he wouldn't stop the car, and I'm like, oh no. And it was a rocky road. It wasn't paved, so rocks were coming everywhere. I was bruised up, man. I wouldn't suggest it.
Yeah, I think that'll be a no for me. If anybody offers, I'll just say no. I've heard a story, so
yeah, not fun. It's in a movie, Death Proof. You like movies?
Oh, absolutely.
Quentin Tarantino. If you haven't seen it, I'd recommend it. His best movie. He hates it.
That's perfect.
He talks about his worst movie, and that's the one. I'm like, dude,
funny.
It's one of the best ones. Jeez,
why does he hate it?
I think it was because of timing and budgeting. If you watch it, it happens pretty quick, and there's so much of it that happens in one location, or like 30 minutes would be in one location, another 30 minutes would be in this, and it all leads up to a fantastic chase scene. But I think that's probably why. Because he's like, I wish I could have expanded it more.
Right.
Kurt Russell's in it.
Oh, really?
Plays the villain. Oh my Lord, it's so good. It's so good.
Oh, cool.
I was surprised you said you knew Harrison Ford, man.
I'm
Indiana
a pretty
Jones?
big movie person,
Really?
and that's like a really well-known name. Like, I'm pretty bad at like, if you're not like super in the media, I probably don't know your name. And like band names and band people. I listen to your music, I just don't know who you are. I watch your movies, I just don't know who you are.
Sure.
But Harrison Ford, everybody knows Harrison Ford. I've got his Indiana Jones movies on VHS tape.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I only say that because out on set, I'd meet like these younger people, and they're like 22 or 20 to 25, right?
Right, sure.
And I'll say a reference to a movie, and it's an obvious movie,
right?
Like Back to the Future.
Oh, sure.
Indiana Jones.
Sure.
And they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I'm like, "Bro, this is a classic." And I remember this one girl, Madison. I would name, if you're watching, you need to watch some movies, man. Because I would name 30, 40 movies, and she's watched none of them. And they're all classics.
That's crazy.
Insane.
It's different. Like, I feel like also in the nerd culture, you're just exposed to a lot more retro media than maybe like other populations of youth. That's just like stuff I grew up with, or am like, I just started watching like all Star Wars content. Like within the pandemic. Because I'd only seen bits and pieces of certain things. So now I started watching everything all the way through, and I was like, oh, okay, now I understand like what all the hype is about, and understand like more of the references and stuff. So totally.
So what do you think about the new movies?
I haven't gotten that far. So
okay.
We just stopped. I think the next one we're on is 8. Which I've heard is supposedly everybody's least favorite. I think they changed directors or something. And
8. Which one's that one?
You were asking the wrong person.
So I'm trying to think. I think you're meaning the last one.
No, there's 8, 9, and then you have the Han Solo movie I haven't seen. Maybe it's the Last Jedi.
Okay, so first off, if it's The Last Jedi, it's...
Then you have the regulars and the prequels.
Oh, okay. So there's...
Talking about like The Last Jedi.
So The Last Jedi is fucking phenomenal. Whoever said that it's not good, screw them. Screw them.
I mean, I am not like super one to... I'll analyze a movie and be like, I didn't like this, the pacing was off, blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, like, I still probably enjoyed the film.
Sure.
Even just from just a regular viewer perspective. I probably will enjoy it, but I could also see, like, how people would be upset about certain things.
Like it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'll admit it. I can see why people are upset with that one. But it's so good. Like, that director, I have a real heart for.
Yeah.
Because I followed him whenever he was a no one, doing like short films, and then he did Brick. I don't know if you've seen that one. It has Joseph Gordon-Levitt, super low budget, and about high school, these students, but it's filmed like a noir, and it's
that's cool.
It's like a murder mystery type noir too.
Okay,
it's so good. He wrote and directed that, and ever since then, he's been doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. He had the chance to do Last Jedi, and I think the reason why people were upset was because he basically did a middle finger to all the rules.
Right.
Which is like, involve these people or, do these kind of niche references or play to nostalgia. And he's like, you know what? Nah. I like that about it, but a lot of people don't.
That's kind of like you're like towing the line if you're making a prequel or a new addition to a beloved franchise. You kind of have to toe the line with like creating new content versus playing to nostalgia, because either way you're gonna make people upset. So you kind of have to just like, well, this is just right in the middle.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you said you were into gaming too. What kind of games do you like to play?
A lot.
Okay.
I am a Toxic League player. I play League of Legends.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Only got into the show.
Oh yeah, you've seen Arcane?
Oh, all the way up until the last 2 episodes.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Okay, in that story?
Sure.
Is it in the game?
Yeah. So the two more main characters, Jinx and Vi, are in the games. Jace and Victor are in the games.
Okay.
Heimerdinger's in the game. Caitlin's in the game. So like it's like a majority of the cast is like actually in the game. Yeah.
Okay. And so does it have a story too, or is it just like a multiplayer centric thing?
So kind of and kind of not. So the game is a MOBA, so it's going to be a top down 5v5 kind of situation.
Okay.
And the most story that you get in-game is via voice lines and interactions you hear from different players. So, like, so your character has a set amount of voice lines, and depending on who you're facing or what situations you're in, they might say something different that, like, alludes to their lore.
Okay.
And then on the, website for League, each champion has written lore, like a summary about them. And a lot of them have like cinematics too that go with it.
Okay.
So it's not like a story game. It's more like a game that has story sprinkled in.
Sure.
Which is why Arcane is like crazy, because it confirms so many fan theories about the characters that were like between voice lines, like the little sprinklings that we just were like, oh, is that like a thing? And then Arcane is like, oh yeah, that's a thing. It's like all confirmed.
I see. So the show basically confirms the stories that people have already kind of known.
Right. Where they got like tidbits of information from the lore or from the voice lines.
That must be very exciting.
Oh, it is the best to have confirmation of stuff.
Really?
Oh yeah, because there was like, Vi and Caitlin were rumored to be sisters like ever since the two came out, because Jinx has a voice line referring, it's like, you think I'm crazy, you should see my sister. And she has like she's like XI or something on her arm, and then Vi has VI on her face. So people were like, is that it? They're like from the same place. Is that the sister?
So then...
And that was like all we had.
So players never even knew.
Yeah. No.
Until recently.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay.
And that show is like League, just gives infinite budgets to all of their music videos and cinematics and stuff that they do, and they're just pumping out like amazing content all the time. And I was just like, whoa. Like, I thought it was gonna be good, but I didn't think it was gonna be that good.
Yeah. I'm a real stickler when it comes to like any kind of film or show.
Sure.
So it's tough for me to watch something and then be able like to see the budget or see like the writing is just
sure,
or any kind of thing. It's so tough to impress me. But I watched it and I was like, oh my Lord,
yeah,
this is on another level.
Yeah,
like
they like created a new bar.
Yeah, why doesn't Netflix put all of this kind of focus on everything they make? But then you realize everything would probably cost millions more.
Probably a lot of money.
But I watched it and I was like, I would love to have a game where I play this. Like, this is what.
Right, I agree.
And then
that would be amazing.
They tease you because they have all these shots where it's first person, and I'm like,
oh yeah, yeah.
Oh Lord.
They're like making a bunch of new games. So before, Riot Games, who owns League of Legends, only had the one game and like a board game called Mechs and Minions.
Okay.
And that was like the games that they had. Now they've expanded to Legends of Runeterra, which is like an online card game.
Okay.
Teamfight Tactics, which is like an auto battler. They're making a fighting game. They're making like an adventure style game, like you were talking about. I don't know that it's set in Piltover like in Arcane, but it's like a similar type thing. They're like making a bunch of stuff. They just have hired like a bunch of indie developers, and they're like, all right, here's the budget. Just go do something cool.
I love that so much.
Which is amazing. Like that kind of creative freedom, I bet, is just awesome.
That's huge. That's huge. Like I was talking to a friend of mine, Gaffer, and he was telling me that like in the video industry, it's pretty tough because one, it's saturated. Oh, right. Like crazy. And two, there's work out there, but it's really based on all you know.
Right. And everything's networking.
Like, I like that, but I think it's also horrible because then people that, I'll be a little biased like myself, who have experience, years of it, have created so much stuff. Even it's tough for even me to break in. Right. Let alone someone that doesn't have any experience or is green wanting to get into it. Exactly. And I don't like any industry that makes, oh, did she poop? Poot? She pooted? Lou. Lord today. But that's one thing I love about video games is that you could be a solo developer. Oh, yeah. One person. Make a very simple 2D, 3D game and then get noticed, and then Riot Games comes to you and be like, oh, shit, why don't you make a game in your vein for us? Right, right. Because the Battle Chasers developer did that with the game that just came out on Switch. It was like Ruined King. Oh, yeah, I just started playing that game too. Is it good? It's good. It's not what I expected. Okay. So it is Ruined King, a League of Legends story, and that's they tell you exactly what you're getting in for. Okay. So it's marketed as an RPG style, like a JRPG, which it is, but it isn't. Really? It's very story driven. It is like that. It is, which is great. It's great. It's just totally not what I thought it was gonna be. It's super story involved. You're like, it's a lot of that versus like playing something. It's almost like you're pressing A on dialogue, just like and like a visual novel. Yes, like a visual novel. Very Persona. Yes. But it does have some like gameplay to it. It's just not as forward, so it's definitely story based in that sense, which is super cool, which is also a really cool story. Really? Yeah. Does it take place after Arcane? Yes, way after. Way after. So at that point, Jinx and Vi would be like adults in like the current League universe. They'd probably be up to date. Okay. They did like an event for League of Legends that was like a mini version of the Ruined King game. So now it's like an expansion of what all entailed in that story, basically. Really? Yeah. That's so exciting. I love it. See, I love it whenever a developer or writers, they just put their heart and soul in something, and then they are very meticulous on how it's not only written but also presented.
Right.
Because I'm a big like Mass Effect. You ever play Mass Effect?
I've not played Mass Effect, but I do know what it is.
No, that's exciting because I wish I could be where you're sitting right now. I would give anything to erase my memory and play it again.
That's so funny.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yes. And they just released the trilogy.
Oh, really?
On PS4, yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
Or Xbox, whatever you like to play.
I've got all of them.
There you go. Hell
I
yeah.
have quite a collection.
Really?
Yeah. Which is funny. I actually, growing up, my parents would only let me have like Nintendo products, so I didn't play anything else until like my senior year of high school. I like begged for an Xbox One. And so like all of those games that you're talking about, I've never played them. Like all of the super like big titles for those consoles and stuff I've never played because I didn't have a system until like pretty recently. I've only just like started getting into all of the different games and stuff.
That's right. You just started college.
Yeah.
May I ask how old you are?
I'm 23.
Oh my goodness. Oh Lord, I'm an old man. Oh, I love it. Okay. Well, that's even more exciting because, dude, there is so much.
There's a lot.
Uncharted.
Oh yeah.
Last of Us.
I played like the beginning of an Uncharted game. I couldn't tell you which one it was. I just know that I started hanging off like a train or something.
That's number 2. Number 2.
And I liked it and didn't like it at the same time. There was parts of it where I was like, I was trying to be stealthy and hide from these people.
Oh,
it was a long time ago. I really don't remember.
No, you're good.
But I was like being stealthy and trying to hide from these people while also like maneuvering to like take them out or something. Yeah. And so.
And that's not really a stealth game, but they want you to be stealthy.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, this part is not for me. I was cool with the train thing. I'm not cool with this part.
I can dig that.
I was also totally making fun of the characters the entire time.
Well, they're very easy to make fun of. I'll give you that. But I love them, man. That's so exciting. Oh, damn, dude. There's so much you could play. There's Mass Effect, Uncharted, Deus Ex. You ever play those? Oh, my Lord.
I know the memes that go with it, but
that's even better. I love that. You get exposed to something through memes,
right?
And then you go back, you're like, oh,
right, yeah, absolutely. And then you're like, oh, that's where that came from. It's like origin stories.
I know. We're doing that with some movies. So right now we've gotten to the kick to go back like to the 90s, 80s, and 70s.
Yeah.
Watch these old films that apparently at the time were so huge, but now no one ever talks about them.
Oh, really?
Let alone a couple of references. There's one called The Witness. Harrison Ford, full fucking circle. Oh, Lord. Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen that one.
It's phenomenal. It's great. So basically, I'm trying to say the synopsis without giving spoilers. So, it's about an Amish boy who is a witness to a murder that Harrison Ford is trying to solve.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
It's so good. But we only watched it out of a whim. We're like, oh, okay, witness, Harrison Ford. Okay, sure.
Right.
And you watch it, you're like, holy shit. And now, like in Family Guy and Bob's Burgers.
Everybody talks about it. That's so funny.
That's so good.
And I bet like probably more than half of that target audience didn't even know it there. Like that reference, it just goes over their head.
At all. That's how I feel about like Little Shop of Horrors. You ever seen that?
I love Little Shop of Horrors.
Suddenly Seymour.
Yeah,
Get out of
absolutely.
town. So good. It's so good. I wish they would not remake it, but remake it. Well, remaster the old version at least. I love a 4K version.
That's just when you go see like live performances of the musical.
I'd be down with that.
That's like your remake.
Oh, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's going to be more of a thing with like live performances and concerts and stuff. I know people are already going to them.
Right.
Are you a fan of that kind of stuff? Like live events?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Live performances, live events. I'm all about that stuff.
Really?
Oh, for sure.
Do you go to like raves and stuff like that?
I'm not super into raves. I love the culture. I think like Plur is the best, and like the people and stuff. But the music is not my cup of tea.
Sure.
In my brain, it just all sounds the same. I'm just like, which is great for like 10 minutes.
In your face, Suba.
And then I'm just like, All right, I've had my jumping fun.
Sure.
But I'm outie. Yeah, exactly.
I've only ever been to one, and that was for my friend Zuba. He's blowing up right now. He's playing in Denver, in Canada, Florida, here, blowing up.
That's super cool.
It's amazing. And back in July, I did a video for him, an artist, Cleopatra, and another one called Acronym.
Oh, that's cool.
Right. Pretty cool names. I've never been to one. It was late at night. He's like, all right, Homero, we're going to do 3 videos. I was like, okay. I told him the logistics. And I was like, so what time is it? It's like, well, it starts at 11. I'm like,
yeah, they go like way late.
At night? He's like, yeah. So I go there. Beautiful people. Wonderful. So nice. So sweet. But you go in there, or at least for me, I'm going in there, and everything starts going, and people get like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
The lights are nuts.
I love, that's like, I wish I liked the music more, because I love all of like the flow toys and stuff, that the stuff that they're doing, and the staffs and like the outfits, and then you have the shuffle dancers. Like, I think all of that is so cool, and I'd love to be a part of it. And my brain is just like, same song. And I'm sure it's not, and I totally have respect for all of those artists, but like, my brain is just not wired that way.
Sure. I don't hear same song. I hear sleep. Sleep, go to sleep. Go home.
Go to home. Go to sleep.
Go draw.
You're like the person at the rave, like at the back with like a pillow on the ground. And the rave mom comes up to you. She's like, hey, are you okay? You need some water?
There were a lot of those. It was fun. I liked it. But I've always been both, sometimes introverted, sometimes extroverted.
Yeah.
So like, I love to draw. I love to write and create.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like, I'm a filmmaker, so I'll go out and do productions and film, and then I'll come back, and it's very secluded the way I edit and everything. So I kind of like that loop. So going out and doing something like that where it's just so much sensory overload, and it's so late at night, and I was so stoned. I shouldn't have smoked, man. It was just such an experience. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Once in a while, happy to do it.
Right.
But thinking about it now, I'm just tired already.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's for sure a lot. As far as like, I am on for a certain amount of time, and then when I'm off, I'm like, okay, I don't want to talk to anybody anymore.
There you go.
Let me do my own thing, and I'll come back when I'm recharged.
Sure. Well, it must be the same loop for you too, because
pretty much
you get ready for the gig. You're about to do your set.
Exactly.
And I imagine, is that like an all-day thing?
It kind of depends. A lot of stuff ends up being like a whole event, which could be 3 or 4 days of like you're shooting like from 10 a.m. or you're getting ready at 10 a.m. and then you're not done shooting until 2 a.m.
Oh my word.
And that's like for 3 or 4 days.
How long does like, is it the makeup and the outfits that take a while to set up, or?
No, we're just like, the business model is shoot as much, you're like trying to get as much bang for your buck as possible. So you book 3 or 4 days and you go there, and that's what you're there to do. You knock out like 5 or 8 sets a day, and then you do it again the next day, and you do it again. So that way you're like backloaded, right? Which is, so like you'll find that I don't shoot for like 3 or 4 months at a time.
Well,
and
you don't have to, because you've done right.
And then so the next 2 months I'm like, all right, to contacting all the people I work with, I'm like, I need to shoot this day, and I need to do it like all in the span of a month, so that I'll work really hard and then I get to relax for 3 or 4 more months.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, it's like I'm on for 1 to 2 months and then I'm off.
I dig that.
So last week or so, I had like a bunch of shoots. And I was like, oh, okay, we're scheduling this podcast. Absolutely. We're going to get it all done in this amount of time.
Shit. I'm the same way. Like, I like to, it's not unfortunately the way it is right now, but I like to have like 4 or 5, maybe 10 podcasts ready.
Yeah.
Because it's tough with scheduling sometimes.
It really is.
Yeah. And a lot of the people, like, they're constantly working.
Yep.
So, like, to bucket them up and to have them so you don't have to worry about it for
Exactly.
It's a big stress load off.
People's schedules are like ever changing, and just like I was saying, I'm like super busy all the time. So when I'm not we got to get this work done.
Yeah. So that's the thing too. So you're going to school.
Yep.
You're doing this modeling. You know, I imagine you cosplay too. Do you go to conventions?
I do. I haven't in the past couple years because of COVID. They are open again. I'm just not comfortable with it.
Sure.
I'm vaccinated, but
same here.
I just
Vax
squad, vax squad got the jabs. But like there's a lot of it's a lot of people, and regardless of if everybody's vaccinated or if there's masks, I've got like people in my life who are at risk, and like my family members are older, so you know, it's just not something I'm willing to risk right now for like for purely enjoyment purposes. Like it's not like I have to go to work to make money, you know.
Sure.
But before I would go to like 2 to 3 cons a year, and like that's like a 4 to 3 day weekend, and you're like cosplaying pretty much. Well, I'm cosplaying like every day.
Yeah.
And it's like a new look, and then I'll normally set up shoots to do with those cosplays and stuff, and that's like half my day, and then I go to panels and I shop, and then I like, it's just so fun. I love it.
Awesome.
I miss it so much. Also for like meeting new people and stuff. It's just it's been a killer to my social game.
Yeah.
Because you just don't get to go out as much as you used to.
Oh, I know it, man. I have a couple of friends, Megan and Darian. They love that whole scene. So like this year, I think they did AWA.
Yeah.
They did Dragon Con, I think.
Yep.
And they went all out. I had like 3 outfits per day, and I'm like, wow.
There's some people who like I'm a person, I'm like, this is the cosplay I'm doing for that day, and that's it. I'm not changing. If I'm changing, it's into PJs. But there are people who are like, I've got 3 cosplays. I'm doing this one in the morning. I'm doing this one in the afternoon, and this is my rave outfit. I'm like, that's too much for me.
That's a lot, dude.
That's crazy. And cosplayers are already like a different breed. They're photographers, models, like makeup artists. Most cosplayers like craft their own stuff. Like they're like the whole thing. And to do that, that's like 9 cosplays for 3 days.
That's a lot.
It's insanity.
And some of them make them all.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like,
Make all the cosplays. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of time. I'm like, I can barely keep up. But, you know, they love that, and I love it too. Just probably like at a lesser scale.
More focused.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to be. Yeah, because I want to get into it too.
Yeah.
Like I see you, and I have some friends that are really into it with the modeling and the cosplay. I want to get into it.
So fun.
Yeah,
it's
man.
So fun.
It looks so like I've been so focused on behind the camera.
Right.
And I've been talking to my actor friends, to people that are in front of the camera. I'm like, well, what do you suggest, man? Like, do you think I should go to classes or not? Some of them like, you need classes.
No,
other
you
ones
don't
are
need
like,
classes.
Other ones are like, nah, bro.
Everything you need is on YouTube.
Yeah. They're like, dude, it's literally all about confidence, and anything else you're wanting to know, just about the theory or anything, it's all on YouTube.
It absolutely is.
The school of YouTube. What the hell, man?
Absolutely. Everything I've learned about cosplaying is from YouTube. 100%.
Really?
100%.
Do you have
from personal cosplay friends who are like a level above me.
Okay. Oh, so you have friends that did this before you got into it?
No, it's more like we both got into it the same time. They just got into it way harder than I did. And they were like making all this stuff, and they already had like sewing skills and stuff. So I was like, oh, how do I do this? And they're like, okay, you just do this. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Well, you might want to get in touch with them. She's very crafty. This one. Yeah. Loves
absolutely
like craft YouTubers. Like, what's that name of that girl? Rachel Makesy. Yeah, I didn't even hear about her until this year, and dude, she's blown up. Like, I think when you first showed me, a couple of 1,000 views, and now it's like consistently like 75K plus.
That's
and
a lot.
It's all about crafting.
Oh yeah.
And like makeup too. Is that right?
Like it just. I feel bad because I'm not.
Here you go.
It just depends on how she's feeling. Like right now, she's in the middle of a move, so
she's not making anything.
She's like, I'll mess with my hair for an hour.
Right, sure. That's kind of how I live my life.
Okay. No, I dig it. I just love the whole culture.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the other thing is, it's super cool because everybody's like, "Yo, making mistakes is like a part of the community." Like, one of the things that I made for a costume was, was making hind feet for this wolf cosplay.
Ooh.
And I just started hammering at the heel of these boots I got at Goodwill. And then I put them on and I was like, I didn't really think about like putting in a zipper or like, it was like I put fur over it and then it's like, I don't have a zipper, I don't have Velcro. We'll just hot glue them together and I'll like figure out how to get out of them later.
Sure.
And that's what I did. And I was like, that's just what it is.
Oh, hell
and,
yeah.
And it looked great. And it's like, all that matters is that it looks great and then I'll figure out how to get out of it later.
I dig that. I dig that.
A lot of women do that for their wedding dresses now.
That's really funny.
They sew themselves
sew them into the dress.
Just for the one day, and then it takes it apart.
Are you serious?
Oh, for sure.
Whoa. So crafty. I love it.
Yeah, but you totally should. The other thing is that it's like raising the expectations and levels for film because they're like, we can make it an identical copy of this character better than what film is doing. So we need you to guys step it up.
Dude, I'll tell you what, like I've seen people on sets and their wardrobe people make really good looking things. And then I have cosplay friends that make that same outfit way more detailed.
Right.
Way more.
It's because we're like zooming in on the source content and we're like, oh, there's like one diamond right here. We're like a detail heavy people.
It's fucking sick. I love it. I love it. And I mean, hell, that just makes it so everyone can get in on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So dope. So what do you have planned for this next year? Do you get
like
your sets planned out and like your cosplay?
No. I love that you think that I do.
Hey, why not?
No, I like have running ideas, but I don't like really hold myself to them because a lot of what I do is totally based on my mood. Like
Copy.
The games that I thought I would start streaming with totally not what I'm streaming with now.
Really?
And so as far as sets go, I honestly, a lot of stuff I shoot with other models, so I'll kind of just feel them out and be like, oh, we'll bounce ideas off each other until we come to like a list of what we're looking for in our goals. That hasn't happened yet, so I have no idea. I have like a huge week-long shoot in January. And so I assume a conversation will be happening rather soon because I need to like get on that.
Yeah.
And then as far as cosplays, I still have no idea. No clue. I have like a cosplans list of stuff that I want to do in my lifetime. Probably somebody from Arcane at this point, just because it's hype right now.
So many people are going as Jinx.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
I'm gonna probably do Vi just because that's my aesthetic, and I'm here for that. I also really want to do. I'm like super late to the party, but I want to do an 11 cosplay from Stranger Things.
Oh,
when I have,
you look a lot like her.
I get that a lot. It's when I had my like shorter brown hair. It was just like brown and like less shaved, less this.
Okay.
And
that's right. It was so short.
Yeah. I got that all the time. Like when I would be in bars, it's just at certain angles, people are like, you look just like Millie Bobby Brown. And I was like, I guess so. And then I'll see a picture of me and then look at a picture of her and I was like, I can see it. Okay. Like at certain angles and like when I have my face a certain way and my hair and stuff.
It's pretty close.
Yeah. I was like, I think I could nail that one.
You could just say you're her. You're like, $5 an autograph.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Okay, I dig that.
Yeah.
So whenever you do your shoots, do you do like behind the scenes video, any type of stuff like that?
So we try to do Instagram lives for stuff that's safe for Instagram, so we don't get taken down.
Does that happen a lot?
Oh, totally. They're so hard on us. They do not like our content.
Really?
Oh, for sure. Even like just photographers posting their portfolio stuff, like it is not a good time unless you are famous.
That's
like
so
all the
fucked up.
Playboy bunnies and all that stuff, none of their stuff ever gets fucked with, but our stuff 100%. It's like we're always at risk. So we have to be really careful about what we're posting and what we're sharing on lives and stuff.
That's insane, man. I'll see videos of way more risque stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's completely fine.
Yep.
50,000 likes.
Yep.
But
that's because they have 50,000 likes.
That's insane. They're against the little guy. Come on,
Instagram
man.
favors the people who bring in more content and more like engagement.
Sure.
So then, and then like the not so safe for Instagram stuff, we'll do like on OnlyFans or something, like a live that way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
They have live now?
Oh yeah, they've had live. They even have like a stream option, which I was like, oh, that's really cool. I don't know who's streaming on here, but that's a cool option.
I wonder what they're streaming.
Yeah.
Knowing me, I'll probably just stream some 90s video game.
Yeah.
But I'll be in a cosplay.
Yeah, there you go.
There we
go.
I want to do funny ones.
Yeah, what are your cosplay goals? What are your dreams?
If I'm going to do some cosplay, it would be like something really, really obscure. Not a lot of people know. So
just that one person calls you out and they're like, hey, I know what you are. And then you're like, that's all the validation I need.
That's right. I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Maybe something.
Johnny Depp from
The Gate. Yeah.
See, I don't even know what you're talking about. That's perfect.
It's so good. Oh, really? You have
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. So it's Roman Polanski. Great director. And he's a very stylized director. Like he did another movie with Harrison Ford called Frantic. Phenomenal film. But he did one with Johnny Depp recently, like early 2000s, The Ninth Gate. And it's very much, well, how would you explain the story? It's like he is a book historian, but he also makes it so he'll what's it called when someone values a piece of art or antique?
Not like authenticized, but like appraise.
Yeah, he's an appraiser guy, right? But for books. Okay, so basically he's a freelancer and he has this weird, freelancer lifestyle.
Sure.
And he'll find a rare book and he'll like flip it to an auction or even dare say like a seller.
Right.
And so he finds this book or someone calls him for this book and it's a book of demons.
Oh, okay.
Right? Something like that. A book of the devil or a book of demons, something like this. And there's only 3, right?
Oh, wow.
And this private seller says he wants Johnny Depp to hunt down this one. And the only other one to know where they know it is.
Right.
And make sure it's real. Authenticate it.
Right.
And that's the movie.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's Johnny Depp going overseas and trying to 1, find this book, 2, authenticate it,
right,
and 3, try to like dodge these weird people that are kind of
the cult that are trying to activate the end of the open the ninth gate.
Open the ninth gate.
Oh, interesting.
Phenomenal movie.
Okay.
Crazy, and it's directed by this crazy guy. Like his style of filmmaking is very weird.
In like what way do you mean?
I like to think of it. Okay, if I could sum it up. There's a scene in Frantic with Harrison Ford where, it's all one shot. Harrison Ford goes up to a hotel clerk and asks where his wife is. And they can't find her. The whole shot happens here. They're trying to figure out where she is. They call the cops. This detective comes in. The camera moves to him and the detective. They start to have a conversation. Then a bellhop comes in. Same shot.
Okay.
You have a phone call. Oh, it's over here. The camera follows him.
Okay.
He has a conversation. In the background, you see the detective and his assistant have a conversation about how this whole thing's
so
suspicious.
Cool.
And then he walks back and then they have another. It's so weird.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's so dope. And it's like 10 minutes, one shot, well written as balls.
Wow.
And like the whole time, I'm like I'm just awing at the
Yeah.
production, but also the writing is like you're tense and it's really cool. I'm
That
a big
sounds
nerd for that kind of
I
stuff.
love that. That's so cool. That shot sounds really. Now I have to go watch that movie.
It's so good.
It sounds really good.
Frantic.
1989.
I'd love to know your idea of the dance scene because wow, what is that?
I'm so interested.
It's so good. It's so good. There's a lot of old movies like that. But man, I could nerd out all day. All day. Like,
what are like your top films? What are your, I don't know, like top 5?
Well, I like to, so looking at you, talking with you.
Sure.
I would recommend you would like maybe Cronenberg. Right. You ever see The Fly?
Yeah.
Cronenberg.
Sure.
Did you
Okay.
ever watch, what was another movie he did? Videodrome.
No, I'm not familiar with that one.
So if you like The Fly with Goldblum, all of his movies around that time are just like that.
Okay.
Creepy, weird.
Oh, awesome.
Engaging.
Yeah.
And he did a movie called Scanners.
Okay.
Which is basically just X-Men in the 70s.
X-Men in the 70s.
Adult.
Right. Sure.
Right. And
if they were all I don't know the X-Men people, but the one that's in the wheelchair.
Oh, yeah, Xavier.
Yeah. If every one of the X-Men had that power.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
Yes. And everyone in the government is trying to hunt down or find. It's been a while since we've seen it, but so I would recommend. I think you would like Cronenberg and movies like Society.
Okay.
You ever seen that one? Definitely down your aisle. Do you like horror?
Oh yeah, I'm a big horror fan.
I knew it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So knowing that, I would probably suggest. I don't know, like.
Have you seen The Lighthouse?
Yeah.
I recently watched that movie and I was like, whoa, this is really weird. And it was very interesting.
Okay. Well, if you like movies like that, I would suggest David Lynch. David Lynch. He did Twin Peaks.
Okay.
He's done Eraserhead, which is black and white, just like The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
I would dare say that The Lighthouse got a lot from David Lynch. Like a lot of the weird symbolism in The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
That's all Lynch does. So it's kind of hard to follow.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like kind of half the fun is like at the end of the movie, you're like, yeah, I don't really know what happened. And so you like start picking it apart. I normally watch with friends because that way you can bounce ideas off each other. And then you start picking it apart from the beginning and you walk all the way down to the end and you like Google stuff. You're like, okay, well, what does the internet have to say? And then you kind of go back and forth with that. Have you seen Snowpiercer?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love that one too.
With Chris Evans.
Is Chris Evans in that movie?
He's the guy.
Oh, no way.
He is.
I watched it my first attempt at college when I first graduated high school.
Mm-hmm.
I took film classes and stuff because that was what I was originally interested in. And so we were like watching all these like iconic movies and stuff. So we watched Snowpiercer.
It's a great movie.
Oh, I love that movie. Yeah.
That was the same guy.
Captain America.
But wasn't it the same guy?
Was it really?
Parasite.
Was it really?
Same director.
No way. That makes a lot of sense.
Right?
Was it really Chris Evans?
Yes. Before Captain
right,
America.
Well, yeah, right. Well, that makes sense why I like didn't put two and two together.
Now I'm self-doubting.
No. It's Bong Joon-ho, great filmmaker. He got that movie because he did The Host, and then they gave him here in the States. The like Lionsgate or someone wanted him to do Snowpiercer, and then that was a commercial flop. But now it's like a cult hit.
Oh yeah, I love that movie.
And now because he did Parasite, they're wanting to do another.
They're like take everything.
Yeah. Like there's a Snowpiercer series now.
Is there really?
Oh yeah.
Is it good?
Or it has Jennifer Connelly in it.
Where can is it on a streaming service? I have like all of them.
HBO Max.
Oh, perfect. I have that.
So good. And a lot of the movies.
When did that come out? When did the series come
It's been
out?
like 2 years.
No way.
I only learned about it last year or earlier this year.
2 seasons now.
Oh my gosh, I'm so interested.
The second
I love
season
that
has
movie.
Sean Bean in it.
Like everybody.
Boromir.
Bora who?
Boromir.
Bora who?
What? You've never seen Lord of the Rings?
Oh no, I haven't. No, I've only seen parts of it and like not even full all the way through. It's on my to-do list.
Oh God.
It's kind of like something you have to be ready to sit for.
That's exciting. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's what we do every year. So around this time, Christmas, that's our Christmas. One of our Christmas.
I love that.
Because like the extended versions is the way to go.
Yeah.
Set aside 14 hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just
That's been. I mean, it was kind of the same thing with the Star Wars things. Is I've only seen bits and pieces of all the different movies and like The Hobbit and stuff. Like I know the general premise and I know a lot of iconic memes and stuff and Schmeagol and all that stuff. I know that. But like I've never actually sat down and watched everything from like start to finish.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's fan-fucking-tastic. Thinking about it now, I'm going to watch it later. We usually do it closer to Christmas, but fuck it.
Yeah, we'll start early. Christmas is early this year.
It's already early. Oh, man, I love it so much. Oh man, like, and then you learn of how it was put together.
Oh yeah, I've probably seen a lot more behind the scenes footage of the movies than I've seen the actual movies.
More than likely, it's a miracle.
Yeah.
Like you hear about that production, and then you see what they put together. And you're like, this is a miracle. And what they're. I'm sorry.
I love it. It's great.
It's just so much. Like, there was this one movie that came out recently that the whole shtick was, women empowerment, right?
Sure.
I love it, but it's so not subtle in the film, and and there's a lot of references to Lord of the Rings.
That's really funny.
And I'm like, you reference Lord of the Rings, but you don't steal the best part. So like there's a moment in the last movie that won Best Picture, Return of the King, where like, a woman is basically Mulan, you know, and she's just like fighting this wraith, which no man in the whole book series can kill. Like that's kind of their thing, is like, no man can kill me.
Right.
And the villain even says this, no man can kill me.
Which is why a woman does it.
And she reveals herself, and she's like, I am no man.
Oh, that's such a great line. Oh, do you know what that reminds me of? It's like in have you seen Game of Thrones?
Of course.
I was like, I'm sure you have. But where
Game of what?
Game of who? Yeah. Spoiler warning, but like when Arya at the end what does she say? The death thing, I can't think of the exact line. Her teacher in the beginning says, not today, death, or something. Right. Yeah, and then it comes back around, and she's the one who ends up fucking offing the White Walker guy.
Come on.
That's like a very similar feeling to me.
Which makes sense, because that George R.R. Martin gets so much of his stuff from Tolkien, who wrote The Lord of the Rings.
Right.
And that's
that was such an iconic thing, because it was like the very first part of the first season that it just like sets it up, and then it walks all the way to the end. It was great.
I love that. I love that. It's so hard to do.
Yeah.
So hard to write, so hard to film.
Like, I bet.
But it's so good. Oh. Like there's so many movies in the 90s. Like I'm a sucker I have guilty pleasures, right?
Sure.
I'm a guilty pleasure guy when it comes to Schwarzenegger. Love a lot of his films. Don't laugh at me. So one, Last Action Hero. Have you seen that one? It's so good. So there's a lot of callbacks. And the movie at the time, like a big deal at the time was, action films.
Sure.
Like it's so saturated. There's so many, and people were fatigued.
Right.
And that's what the movie was kind of about, is, having that said almost to the audience. There's so much fourth wall breaking. And there's so many callbacks to nostalgia. It's just so good. I could go on all day. Someone stop me.
Oh my gosh. Lord, I'm here for it. I love that. Yeah, absolutely.
We got off of the topic of gaming, though. So, like, you're playing Animal Crossing.
Yeah, like, rewind. Where were we?
Lord, today. I want to go back and play, like, Dead Space. You're saying horror.
Oh, yeah.
You missed Dead Space, then.
Yes, I did. And I also love to watch horror games, but I cannot play them. I have like I get paralyzed.
Sure.
I will what game was what is that game called? It's a pretty popular one. Oh, I can't think of it. Fortnite. I don't know. No, it's a horror game. We don't talk about
Fight
Fortnite.
Nights at Freddy's.
No. It's it's got a pig guy in it. That's what I know.
A pig guy.
Yeah.
It's got a pig guy in it.
I'm not really sure.
This is like charades. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a horror game.
Right. But anyway, I'm playing the game, and like first jump scare kind of thing, I'm chasing, and I just drop the controller. I'm just like, nope. No, none of that. And I'm like screaming and stuff. Like I just 100% get paralyzed. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm like not pressing any buttons or walking away. I just stand there and I'm like, ah!
Right.
So I love watching them. Like I'll watch a lot of Let's Players on YouTube and stuff play through all those games, because I love to watch it and I love to be scared.
Yeah.
But I myself cannot play those games.
Dude, it can get intense, man.
It really does. I get freaked out.
Oh, my hands can get sweaty.
Oh yeah, cramping too.
It takes a lot for that to happen, but like, you ever heard of Outlast?
That's what it was. It was Outlast.
Really?
Oh, for sure.
There's a pig-headed guy in there?
Oh, for sure. I was in like a
prison?
No, it wasn't a prison. It was like a sane asylum or hospital or something like that.
Okay.
Pretty sure it was Outlast.
Really?
Pretty sure.
You may be right. It's been a while since...
They haven't had like a couple sequels. The third one was like a cult farm people.
Yes.
So.
But it was great.
It was great. I loved it.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I never played them until they were on Switch.
No, yeah, sure.
It's like, I've learned that, I don't know why, but now I'm leaning towards more mobile. So like the Switch is perfect.
Oh yeah.
And so many games are ported over really well.
They really are.
So Outlast was one of them, and I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll try this out." They were on sale, dude. I went through all of them in a week.
Oh, awesome!
And it was tough to get through because, I'm like you. I'm like, this is too much, dude. I'm too stressed out, bro.
When I get stressed, I just like freeze up, and it's like, well.
Yeah. But that's one. Dead Space.
I know of Dead Space.
If you're gonna go, they're remaking it. They really? It comes out next year.
I'll give it a shot. I don't know how well it'll go, but I'll give it a shot.
It's got so many references movie-wise. It's crazy.
Oh, that's fun.
Alien.
Sure.
The Thing.
Oh, sure.
You've seen The Thing?
Oh, sure.
So you know John Carpenter.
I love a lot of horror movies.
Okay.
I loved the original It, and then have you seen and whenever I think about that movie, it always makes me think of this movie I saw from like when I was really little, and I would like terrified me when I was little and could not go to sleep and stuff. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh yeah, years ago.
Yeah.
I think now it's like funny, but back then
it is funny now. But as a small child, I was like, this is terrifying. I don't like it. They're like coming out of cotton candy cocoons and stuff, and like.
Is that right?
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's been forever.
I know. It's like I'm not exactly sure, but I'm like, there's definitely some kind of cocoons in there, and I'm 90% sure it's cotton candy.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, I watched the remake of it and the second one.
You like them?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Oh yeah. I'm also like in love with Bill Hader.
Oh yeah. Who is it, man? Did you watch Barry?
Barry.
It's his show. He has a show on HBO where he's the lead. He's an assassin. It's got like 2 seasons. It's so good.
Oh, I have to go watch it.
Yeah. Another one on HBO Max.
Yeah. They put out some good stuff. They like,
dude.
It's kind of niche though. Their stuff is like, obviously,
adult.
I've not heard of any of it, so.
No, I agree. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Because then you're not like, okay, for one, it's almost like you found a little.
Right, it's like treasure.
Gem.
Sure.
Yeah. So Barry.
Okay.
What was the other one? Snowpiercer. No, you mentioned Snowpiercer. You've seen.
The series.
The series.
Is on HBO Max.
Frantic,
yeah.
That's on HBO. Which one?
Witness.
Is that right? So good.
Yeah.
Where's my wife? Which one's that one? Air Force One.
Well, he loses his wife in like every movie.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So I
Too
quoted.
broad.
I quoted like 5 movies.
Right.
My
there you
bad.
go.
He goes Fugitive. That's like.
That's another good one.
My wife, and the guy's like, I don't care.
Have you seen that one? Oh, so.
At least I don't remember it.
Bro, so like he's in a tunnel and in a dam, and he's running down the tunnel, and then he stops because it's at the edge, and it's like this waterfall on a dam, and Tommy Lee Jones is behind him chasing him down, and he's like, I didn't kill my wife, and Tommy Lee Jones is like, I don't care.
I see that in a lot of TV series.
I fucking believe that. Seems like a reference.
And video games. So
so it was in a video game, right?
Oh yeah, you ever play Metal Gear?
No, but I know of it. I know what it is.
No, it's great. Now you get to play them. They're so good. In the third one, it's like in the 70s, they have the exact same scene go down.
That's really funny.
He's being chased out. Oh,
Sure.
it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, the only thing I know about Metal Gear is the snake in the box from whatever Smash game that he was in. That's like my extent knowledge of Metal Gear.
It's okay. No, it's good, man. Again, that's awesome, and I would switch places with you anytime. Because if I could just play them again, just fresh, oh Lord.
Sure.
I played the second and the third one recently, this past year, and I'd forgotten all about them because I played them, and I was like 15, 16, a kid in high school, middle school even. And dude, they're just ingrained in my mind. It's so good. But you have stuff like that too, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like if you asked me about like anything Nintendo related, even from way back when, or like older consoles, I could give you way more knowledge about that kind of stuff. Like the Castlevania games, like the older ones, I really enjoyed those.
Symphony of the Night.
Symphony of the Night. Is that newer?
No, it's like NES or Super Nintendo, I think. But you're probably talking about Nintendo, like GameCube?
GameCube, Nintendo 64, some NES.
So you played did you
Super Nintendo.
Play Resident Evil 4?
No.
Funny enough, that was a GameCube exclusive.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm.
I've never super been into the Resident Evil stuff.
Really?
I played some of the, I'm not sure where they fall in the timeline, but like middle make. And I just was like, no, it's not for me.
Yeah.
Not for me.
I think the newer ones would resonate with you. Like because the problem they had with, I'm with you. I never got into them. Never.
Yeah. All right.
I gotta stop playing with these. I could never get into them because like from 5, 6, 7, they're all action. You know?
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. Is like I just, there's not a substance for me there.
But they remade 2. They remade 3. Then they did 7. And then Village.
Okay.
Right? And those are strictly all about horror.
Okay.
So they're all super survival.
Sure.
Low ammo. A lot of zombies.
Oh, gosh.
A lot of resource management.
Okay.
So it really amps up the fear.
Sure.
I think you'd really dig those. You'd love them. Because it's all, third person.
Right.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my word. I can go all day. I apologize.
No, I love it. It's great. It's great.
Oh, my word. Well, I wanted to thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I think we've had a great killer show.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been a blast.
Yeah, it was great meeting you, too.
It was great meeting you.
Yeah, I love it. You're the first guest that's here that I've never met before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, usually.
Oh, cool.
Isn't it awesome? Like, usually I'd have people here that I've worked with or I just either met in passing. But this is the first. You're the first guest. Oh, fresh.
I love it.
Coming in. I love it. I think we had a great show. I'd love to have you on again.
Yeah, I would love that. That would be super awesome.
Of course. Of course. Well, where can these guys find you?
You guys can find me at Instagram, Lovely Modeling. And then I also have Stream, which is on Twitch at Lovely Gaming.
Lovely Gaming?
Yeah, that's LOVE_LEE Gaming.
I love it. Lovely. And well, you are lovely yourself.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it so much.
Of course. And we'll have you on here soon.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. And we'll catch you next Saturday on the Saturday Santos Show. Take it easy. Thank you, lovely.
Thank you.